Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Buck Stops Here. I am Catherine Murray. Well, as you may be very well aware, Canada certainly is in a very precarious moment right now with the threat of trade tariffs post the inauguration of President Trump, and perhaps more importantly, what's going on here at home domestically and what has been going on for the past 9 years to even put us in this position and the current state of Canada's economy. So, to talk big picture, macro, and what we can do next and going forward, I wanted to bring in a bit of a guru here in Canada, John Ruffalo. He is the managing partner and founder of Maverick Private Equity. John, great to be with you and get your perspective. You're so involved and aware of what's going on. So, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Catherine. Appreciate it.
So, let's talk your view right now. Let's talk a little bit about the state of affairs for Canada. How do you see what we're currently living in and through? And keep in mind, we really don't have any federal leadership.
Yeah, this is a made in Canada problem largely. Of course, what Trump is doing right now is the shocking external event, but it's been 10 years in the making, if you were paying attention. And we've been spending the last 10 years, really since 2015, warning the Canadian government this is coming down the pipe. And it really was starting in 2016, 2017 in Trump's term, but he didn't quite get through it. Kind of stalled a little bit with Biden. And we're just simply back and continuing on what has been started really from a geopolitical perspective. And the reality is, from a U.S. perspective, which whether you like it or not, Canada's futures have been tied to it and will continue to do so. But this trend really started way back in 1989 when the wall fell in Germany. And by 1991, when Russia fell, this is the series of events that have become the result of it.
When you say that, John, what are you specifically referring to? Are you referring to tariffs, or are you referring to perhaps how Canada has been managed and not doing enough internally, or
So,
both?
what I'm referring to is that really globalization, really starting from post World War II, and it was really driven first from an industrialization perspective, I know, manufacturing centric. Canada very much benefited from it because we don't have a large domestic consumer market here. We rely on the global market. And this worked well where the United States led, globalism from a global perspective, but it was all in the guise of defeating communism. When communism fell, the United States looked around and said, well, we won. What now? And if you recall, before the World Wars, the United States was an isolationist economy. And what they would basically have the advantage, and they have the sole advantage of the world, is they do not have to trade with the rest of the world. Canada does. And the problem is, if Canada were to go away tomorrow, well, the US wouldn't like it, but it wouldn't really matter to them. But if the US were to go away, Canada is in shambles. And we really didn't prepare ourselves for this reversion back to a US centric global order. And if you have to dust off your history books and look back at what the Monroe Doctrine was all about, Canada's been a sitting duck on this for 10 years. And part of it is, Canada, you better get your house in order before when this actually happens. And the real wasted opportunity is this that we can see 10 years ago. We are now caught flat-footed. And frankly, the amount of leverage that we have right now is basically next to zero.
Yeah. I was going to say there's not a lot of leverage at all. And, we've got to be scrambling to get our industries, back in shape and really growing. It's,
Yes.
I was thinking about this the other day, that what the current Liberal federal government has done to our economy by villainizing our natural resources. Can you just imagine
Yes.
if Saudi Arabia said, we're not going to pump oil? That is their economy. They recognize it
Yes.
and they do it. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.